Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Sullivan show. I'm back here on latenightsportsradio.com. I'd like to thank Keith Bree for welcoming me back. I got Keith from producing here. And tonight, I have back with me from popculturecrunch.com, Nick Peterson. Nick, how you doing tonight?
Hey, how are you? That's a really cool theme song you got going on.
Little Rocky 4.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know.
I feel bad when I listen to that song, just a little bit of it, because I feel like I owe it to Rocky 4 to play a song in its entirety. Like, they mastered that in that movie.
That's like everyone's go-to workout soundtrack.
Yeah, I try to, if I have somebody that close to me that's died or anything like that, I always try to listen to No Easy Way Out, and I try to find a stick shift car and shift as many times as possible while I'm thinking about that. That's I think that's the key to that song.
I see. It's different. Yeah, so it's been about how long has it been? About a month since the last time I talked to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's been about a month. We were going to get together before Ant-Man. That didn't happen, but I did go see Ant-Man last night.
Oh, good. What do you think?
Did you? I felt like it was I felt like people were underselling it initially, and then once people saw it, they oversold it, and I was kind of left in the middle. And I'm kind of in the middle on it right now. I think I need to see it again, though. How did you feel about it?
I really did enjoy it. I guess I was always kind of skeptical because of the whole backstory of what happened in pre-production. Because the director that had been like, researching like 6-7 years, even shot test footage for the movie, and then he had a falling out with the studio, and then he just left, and everyone's like, well, that's not a really good sign. And so when they brought in Peyton Reed, who's the director of Yes Man, to do this movie, everyone was just like, okay, so how much of the script are they keeping the same, etc. So we wanted to make sure that it was still light, funny, and kind of in the same, I guess, vein as Edgar Wright, who I'm not sure if you're familiar, who did the movies At World's End, Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, those types of movies. Those are all him. So I don't know. I still thought it was a really good movie. It's a good addition to the Marvel Universe for sure, especially when they're going to add Ant-Man, the character, to the next Captain America movie.
Well, I find it interesting with Ant-Man. With Paul Rudd, most of these guys when they do one of these superhero movies, they just get jacked out of their mind. Like I guess Robert Downey Jr. didn't really he's strong, but I didn't feel like they completely reshaped their body. I didn't feel like that with Paul Rudd. There's one scene with him with his shirt off where he's, looks pretty ripped, but I didn't feel like, he didn't look any different to me than when he was in, I guess, like This Is 40 or any movies like that. It kind of surprised me that they weren't like, hey, go get really strong for this. I didn't get that feeling from Paul Rudd.
Right. What's great about Paul Rudd is that everyone kind of is very accustomed to what Paul brings to movies, is the characters that he plays. So, I mean, yeah, you're right. This Is 40, I Love You, Man, or those types of movies we identify. He's kind of like your best friend. He's kind of like, he's very relatable. And I guess the best way to sell Ant-Man, and like I've told you before, right, I mean, last month was basically Ant-Man is like a grown-up Spider-Man, with the same type of humor, but a little bit more mature, and dealing with more, adult issues. So I think that's exactly what this Ant-Man movie was. I think it's what's also really great about this Ant-Man movie is that it's more accessible, I guess you could say. I mean, um, it's I think a family viewing would like they'd all kind of like enjoy it equally, more so than say I don't know a Daredevil TV show. I mean, obviously, but
You could never watch. There's no chance at sitting down and watching Daredevil with a family.
Yeah.
Way too dark. I mean, I enjoyed. I thought the villain was good. Cross was good. Can't remember what his name is in real life, but
His name's Darren Cross. Yeah.
Cross. Yeah, he was a good villain. I felt. But with I guess I felt it was good. It was fine. It didn't blow me away, and I felt like Michael Douglas could have been a little like he was edgy, but I felt like he could have turned it up a notch. And there was one other issue I had. Okay, so Ant-Man, yeah, they shrink down. They're still able to, a toy train set can be thrown around and everything. It doesn't make sense to me, however. There's when they're fighting in like there's a lot of damage to the area around them. But when they're on that train track, like there's not a lot of damage around them. I mean, until he makes the spoiler alert, until he makes the Thomas the Tank Engine blow up, and then fly through the room. I mean, there's the damage aspect. It doesn't make sense to me why there's not more damage to the that train set. When they're inside of like Pym Industries, when they're fighting.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Let me answer a couple things you brought up really quick. In regards to the train set or whatever it blowing up, they have those devices. I'm not sure if you remember, they're these gadgets that Michael Douglas' character gave him that you can throw onto other objects so that they can change in size.
But I'm saying like there's not like other than that damage being there's not a lot of damage to the room around it, and I felt like there's more damage like he did more damage to the room around him in other places than on the train track, and I felt like there should have been more explosions inside the room than just on the train track. I don't know. I'm kind of nitpicking here, but
yeah, and with Darren Cross, who plays, well, I guess in the comic books is known as Yellow Jacket. In my opinion, I thought that I loved the actor, but I hated the character because he was very one-dimensional, and like you don't understand his point of view at all. Like, oh yeah, I'm used to be your mentor. Now I'm like a complete psychopath, and I kill someone on screen within like 2 minutes of being on screen. So it's just for me, I didn't like the character at all. That was my biggest problem with the movie, was actually the villain.
Well, I thought he was good, but they made him I kind of feel like they made him the villain way too quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yep, exactly.
There was a good chunk of time between when Jeff Bridges. I mean, you could kind of piece it together that he was gonna be the villain in Iron Man, but it wasn't established right off the bat. Like, it was pretty much established right off the bat in Ant-Man, and I felt like there could have been a little bit more. I agree with you. A little bit more backstory, a little bit more, build up to his character just going off.
Evil is slowly progressed. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's not like a quick descent into madness. It's like, you need over time. Jeff Bridges' character in Iron Man, was willing to go the distance and actually kill for his ideals. Like this guy, he's just like, oh, I'm gonna straight up and kill you. Like this is, I mean, the audience doesn't get any point of view. Like, I mean, or I guess identify in a weird way with the villain. You know what I mean? So there's just nothing there.
Yeah, it was, it was fine. It was a solid movie, but one thing it did do was it had previews for movies that I mean, the Fantastic Four preview that got me kind of amped. The Star Wars preview that, I mean, we've all seen, but seeing it in theaters was a little different. That got me pumped. Fantastic Four. What are you expecting from this? Just based off of this trailer we have right now, and what are we like a week or two away from that?
Geez, I'm not exactly sure the date. I know it's fast approaching. It is in August. I can check it up really quick here. But in regards to my opinion of it, I'm I'm really not sure what to think. I'm not exactly excited because I've seen the movies before. I mean, it hasn't been that long since we've had you know a Fantastic Four movie. So it's
And a
I
bad
don't know.
one at that.
What's that?
And a bad one at that.
Well, yeah,
That
both
that's
of them
so
were. Yeah.
Yeah, Silver Surfer was a complete abomination. I mean, not that the first one wasn't, but Silver Surfer. I mean, there was other than Jessica Alba in a wedding dress. I mean, please, come on. I mean, like there was nothing in that movie that was appealing at all to anybody. That was just a terrible movie.
Geez, I think that Fantastic Four was just released today.
Oh, okay. Well, really?
That's
Well, that
that's what I'm getting. Like that's kind of weird because you'd think that I would have remembered that, but I think I was more excited to see. Oh wait, sorry, August 7th. August 7th.
so next week.
August. Yeah, this week is Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With,
sorry
with,
about that.
with Kate Mara, that attracts me. I
Oh,
think that
she's
Michael B. Jordan is a good actor. I don't really know the other two actors in this that well, but I mean, I think it has a promise, and it looks like they're taking it seriously. The other one looked like they just kind of, oh, we got an opportunity to make Fantastic Four. Okay, well, let's just throw together a script and let's just kind of wing it with these actors, and we'll call it good. Let's just call it good with that.
yeah. I mean, Miles Teller is the guy that plays Mr. Fantastic in Fantastic Four. I like him a lot. He was great in Whiplash, which was, nominated for an Oscar, actually won an Oscar for a supporting actor from another actor. But anyway, um, I love the cast. Don't get me wrong, and I actually like the director who did Chronicle. I'm not sure if you remember that movie a few years back. It was kind of like that shaky documentary type of movie where everyone kind of got superpowers, and Michael B. Jordan was in that one too. Um, but in any case, yeah, I mean, I'm just not sure what to think, and I think it's kind of like, in my opinion, I think if it's just been there, done that. I mean, I guess I'm just going to wait to see what the masses say with that one. If it's going to be like, if everyone's like, oh man, that's a great movie, then yeah, I'll go see it. If not, then I'll end up renting it. I'm sure.
Is with previews and what you've heard, I feel like you brought it up, Mission Impossible. I'm mildly intrigued by this because I like the addition of uh, Alec Baldwin to this cast
Oh
and
yeah.
Jeremy Renner, but I mean it's Tom Cruise. A lot of people are going to be kind of shied away from him. I personally, I don't think. Yes, he's done some money grab movies, but they haven't been horrible. They haven't been horrible like Arnold's, uh, like Sabotage, or those pretty close to being straight to Netflix movies. I feel like Jack Reacher was pretty good. Night and Day was whatever, but I don't feel like Cruise. Yes, he's done money grab movies, but I don't feel like he's mailing it in acting wise or stunts wise. Do you?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think he's not at all. I mean, the thing is between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Tom Cruise is one can act and one can't. So another thing is with Tom Cruise, and yes, I agree. Like Night and Day, and there's another movie that he did where I mean they were okay, like Jack Reacher. But I think once he did Oblivion was okay. But Edge of Tomorrow, the one that came out last year, was actually a really good movie. And I really do like his Mission Impossible series because the thing that makes it different than everything else is that they bring in a different director every single time. They're not gonna. I mean, it's the same actors, but they're in different situations, but with different takes on those characters. So that's the reason why I really, really like it. And plus, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. That's the other crazy thing that people don't realize. I think people are kind of past him being crazy. They just kind of accepted it like, hey, it's Tom Cruise. I can like his acting, but not really agree with him personally on his beliefs or whatever.
But I mean, now we can because allegedly he's leaving the Scientology.
Yeah, I
So
read that. I read that. Yeah.
I can't believe with how much he forced it down our throats and, made us, threaten to sue people over the years over it, that now he's possibly leaving. I mean, that just, I wonder who ruffled his feathers in that belief or in
Um,
Scientology. I know maybe he wasn't given enough money.
Um, the thing with Scientology is that okay, first of all, the lawsuits were basically most all of people accusing him of being a homosexual or insinuating that he was. So he was trying to get people for libel. And the other thing is with Scientology is that there was a really great documentary that came out about maybe a few months ago on HBO. It's called Going Clear, where they have a really long segment about Tom Cruise in the actual church. It's kind of like they coddled to him and they used him as a figurehead. So Tom Cruise didn't really know what was going on behind the scenes of his own church. So it, and yeah, it's like it is like a cult because like a blindness leader. I mean, it is kind of creepy stuff. And don't get me wrong. And then I don't agree with it by any means, but I mean, I can kind of see, why he may have acted so crazy all the time. But it kind of gives you some perspective because they didn't let him know that the church was, crazy. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I'm sure he knew some things. I mean, but I don't think that he knew like the torture that they're putting their members through.
Well, I feel like Scientologists are a lot like diehard fans of Rush. Like, I like Rush. I think they're a great band. Don't get me wrong, but Scientology, believe what you want, but uh, it's the thing that draws me away from. Not that I would become a Scientologist, but the thing that really makes me question them is the way they shove it down your throat. And that's the thing with Rush is, I think they're a good band and everything, but you can only hear it so many times from somebody that a band's underrated that they become overrated. And
Yeah.
I feel that's what you get with Scientologists and with Rush fans, in my opinion.
Yeah, outside of that, I just always liked Tom Cruise. I just always have. I think he always will be the biggest star there ever will probably be, in my opinion. I mean, I know that Robert Downey Jr. is a big star, but he's mostly known for Iron Man. Tom Cruise is known for lots of things. So
Yeah, I feel like his work. I mean, A Few Good Men was fantastic. Top Gun was awesome. I mean, even his kind of cheesy movies, so to speak, like Cocktail. I mean,
I like
not even
Cocktail.
cheesy. Risky Business. I mean, those good movies. I mean, and I feel like if you put any other act, as much as we mock him, you put any other actor in those roles. I mean, I don't really see him. I don't see it working. I feel like
He's
when
not replaceable by any means.
no, he's not. He's not a Travolta or a Cage.
Travolta, yeah, Face Off.
God, that is there a better movie than that? Like that movie. How big of a joke is it? Like, okay, you just remove their face, and all of a sudden, we don't know. We don't know that that's them. I mean, okay, personalities don't change. And Travolta's like 40 pounds heavier than Cage in that movie.
Oh, the science is just complete bonkers.
The face-off technology does not add up. Just imagine. Okay, if Travolta's wife is in bed with Travolta with the new face, basically. I mean, it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. There's no way. It doesn't work. I'm sorry, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you're
It-
right. And you're totally right. But the thing that makes that movie so great is that if you can ignore that stuff, if you can ignore the science that's completely off, it's a really good movie. Like I swear, like if you I mean, and I know like yeah, they switch faces. Yeah, how is he slimmer now? All this stuff that doesn't make any sense because I mean, if you actually look at how they put faces on each other, like his face would just fall off. Like I mean, in any case, I can talk about that for a long time. But the thing is that the movie is a lot of fun, and they ham it up the entire movie, both Cage and Travolta. So
Better scene in a movie is, I don't think it gets much better than when Travolta's trying to like cut off his face.
oh yeah,
And
he's like, get
then
you.
you also get shot with that harpoon, yeah. It's just the whole, okay, one, he'd probably be dead on impact with the harpoon, and yet he still has enough energy to try to cut his face off.
Well,
Not to
yeah,
mention they would have already been dead from the already sawing their faces off in the face-off technology.
well, yeah. I mean, it doesn't make. I mean, think about that. You think about I mean, the action in that movie was insane, and there was people like you remember like the first 5 minutes of that movie were like you have a chase sequence in on an airport. You have people flying around on ropes, like shooting people, or actually shooting their gun with missing them all the time. So, and then they're chasing on the freeway, and I mean, it's just insane for the first like 5-10 minutes of the movie, and that's just the first 5-10 minutes. So it's like, how are they going to top that? And they do, and it's just nuts.
There's two things. One thing, it was on Netflix. I don't know if it still is, but whenever I get really drunk and I'm staying at somebody's house, I'm always like, okay, let's watch Face Off. And then you turn it on, and it's like, holy crap! It's 2.5 hours long. Mm-hmm. And then when you start watching it, you start to sober up, and you're like, okay, I forgot about that. And you're only like an hour in, you're like, geez, this movie just keeps getting better and better with all the stuff you forget. And then there's also the factor of when when they first switch faces and Travolta goes back to his house and gets a little handsy with his own daughter. Wouldn't that be the first like sign of like, okay, we got to kind of, I mean, his daughter's like in, her panties or whatever, and he gets a little handsy with his own daughter. Wouldn't that be the first sign of something's wrong instead of...
Yeah, you're right. But would she automatically jump to the conclusion and be like, oh, did my dad go through a face-off operation? I mean...
They put I can't remember if it was Travolta or Cage's sister or brother, put the pieces together way faster than anybody else.
Yeah, it's like, bye, bro. What was his name? Oh, I forget. Like, it matters. But, yeah, I mean, you still don't know. I mean,
Cage had a great name in that movie. I can't remember what it was. But they both really had great names. I should look that up.
It's Castor Troy and Sean Archer.
Sean Archer, yes. It actually could have been a sequel to Small Soldiers, pretty much. What was it? Archer and Sergeant, whoever.
I haven't seen it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while.
They basically ripped off those names is what they did. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back to talk about the Star Wars preview, talk about some
Superman,
Suicide Squad. There's a lot more to talk about here with Nick Peterson from Pop Culture Crunch here on the Bob Sullivan Show on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Whee! What a predicament!
Something shines in your eyes tonight. Maybe there's no need to lie tonight. I see your lips out on fire. Oh baby, I want you to be mine. Catch me, baby,
Who the hell can wait till morning? Talk now at latenightsportsradio.com.
Welcome back to the Sullivan Show here on latenightsportsradio.com. And I am joined by Nick Peterson of popculturecrunch.com. Nick, Suicide Squad trailer has been released. It is, I think everybody wanted to see more of the Joker in this trailer, but I'm not going to be a complainer seeing how Margot Robbie looks as Harley Quinn, because
I'm not going to hurt you. I'm not going to.
Yeah, well, there's that, but I'm not going to complain about seeing Margot Robbie like that. And yeah, there was a little bit of. I feel like everybody was expecting a little more Joker, and I'm fine with what I saw. But was there anything you saw that you liked, didn't like from this trailer?
I loved it. I actually liked it more than the Batman versus Superman trailer, which we'll talk in a bit. But what was really great about this trailer is the setup. I mean, because not a lot of people know about Suicide Squad. They don't know the comic book. They don't know the premise at all. So how they set this up where Amanda Waller, which is a character that she is in the very beginning there, cutting into that stake and explaining the situation with these bad guys that she's essentially holding that were housed by Batman. And she has them and she wants to use them for her nefarious purposes, but essentially to do good. And the setup, especially where the introduction to Harley Quinn with her upside down and that music that started to play out, that I Started a Joke, which was redone from the old Bee Gees song. And it lended its way to that trailer perfectly, because it lends its way to the Joker and what the movie is actually all about, and what it's actually setting up. And from what I understand, from everything I've read, that Suicide Squad is basically it's happening before Batman v Superman. So, and then eventually we'll get the Batman solo movie, which we can also talk about as well. But Will Smith, Joel Kinnaman, you have. The terrible Jai Courtney with that accent in this trailer. But I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, Margot Robbie looks like she might just steal the show. And then we towards the end, we get what everyone's kind of wanting, is the Joker. But I think that I think if it was just the Joker, because I think the Joker is actually going to be in Batman v Superman as well, at least for a little bit. I do know that much. But yeah, I'm just super psyched for that trailer. I just love the way it looks and everything.
I find it funny that Will Smith is the biggest question mark. Like, of all these actors that are in this, Jared Leto, I mean, I know that he's, a lot of people question the way he looks, but I don't think the way he acts is going to affect the Joker. Yes, it's a different looking Joker, but so is Heath Ledger's. And people were unsure of that initially. Before the movie came out, there was questions as to whether he could do it. Jared Leto, same thing. But I find it odd that Will Smith is the biggest question mark of an actor going into this movie. Because, you look back, maybe 5 years ago, I think people would love to have Will Smith in a movie like this. But I feel like people have kind of not soured, but dulled their senses on Will Smith at this point, and I find that odd.
I think that over the last 5 years, he's kind of gone through an arc where he thought that he can do anything. He thought he can be a part of any big box office movie, and then it'd be a for sure thing. And it's just not anymore. He's not taking any risk as an actor. And I think that lately he's starting to come to the fact that, you know what, I should be a little more selective of my roles. I should kind of, listen to my fans a little bit more, because, I think a movie like this, where he's not exactly the star, but he plays a big part in the movie, I think it's a perfect thing for him at this point in his career, especially if he wants to build it up to the point where it was before. So To me, he's not as much of a question mark as if he's just more of like he's more of in a safety role, if anything, because the movie is very, very big.
Mm-hmm. Do you think my kind of opinion of the situation is, I hate to put this on a 17-year-old or 18-year-old kid, but do you think everybody's despising Jaden Smith has affected the way people like Will Smith?
I mean, I'm willing to separate the two, but I mean, I guess I never really thought of that. I know that, kind of like the whole father son type thing, what celebrities do with their their kids. I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I can separate the two, so I think that the audience can as well. But I think that when he was doing that, when he was kind of helping his son build his career, which didn't end up working out, I think he kind of lost sight of what he was all about at the same time. So hopefully he's stepping away from that. But I mean, I hated Jaden Smith. I do not think he's a talented actor whatsoever. So I'm glad that he's done doing that.
Do you? Well, has he officially retired or?
Jaden?
Yeah.
No. I think I meant in the sense of Will Smith and his son doing movies together.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, if I kind of, I don't know what would be tougher, being a parent of a child, being a star actor and parenting a child in Hollywood that also wants to be an actor, or being the sexual interest of Nick Cage in a movie. I mean, I don't know what would be tougher, because that's like a career killer. Like, Jessica Biel really hasn't been in much of anything since she was the female lead in like Next or something.
Mm-hmm.
That Amber Heard, ever since Drive Angry.
She got married to Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Yeah, she's, it's every time Nick Cage bangs recently, whenever he bangs somebody in a movie, their careers are not kind of fizzle. I mean, January Jones, she was his love interest, well, his wife in that terrible movie. Well, actually, that wasn't that bad, but Seeking Justice on Netflix. It's a career killer, and I don't know which would be tough.
I don't know what to say to that, but I think but they're both tough situations to be in. I guess. I mean, you really have to sell it to be interested in Nicolas Cage sexually.
That's not wetting any whistles. As far as okay, so all right, we got to get away from Nick Cage, but okay, so the Batman versus Superman recent, looks. I need more. I need more. I just need more. I haven't seen anything of Aquaman. I haven't seen anything of Flash. And also, what is going on here with that DC having Flash in the TV show and Green Arrow? Why aren't those two going to be in the Justice League movies? I just don't get that. Why would you cast two different people when the two actors that are doing those roles on those TV shows work and they're good actors? And I just don't understand why you would go away from those two. It doesn't make sense.
I agree. I totally agree. But I think in the studio's sense, it's kind of like, well, we need to separate those two. These are two different things. There's a TV Flash and then there's a movie Flash. You know what I mean? There's. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I can understand their viewpoint sort of. But I do agree a lot with the idea behind the Flash movie, because the directors that they're bringing on board is Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who are the directors of 21 Jump Street and the Lego Movie. So I think that they could get the tone and the comedy down pretty darn well. So I'm not too worried about Flash in a sense because of that. But because they'll be writing and directing it. But I mean, yeah, the Flash TV series is just so good, and it's kind of hard to ignore that. And so, I mean, if they want to do a good movie, they better top the TV series, which, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they come up with.
Yeah, and I'm not really I'm interested in seeing what they do with Cyborg. Um, I mean, that's not till 2020, but the actor really hasn't done much of anything, so they're pretty much starting with the new guy. I mean, they're pretty much training a guy on the run here with Cyborg, but I, I don't know. It doesn't feel a Flash movie doesn't feel necessary to me. I mean,
Okay.
I think it'd be okay, but I don't feel like I don't see myself getting be like, yes, I get to see a Flash movie. Aquaman, on the other hand, I'm kind of interested in that. I'm kind of interested in that world. You know, I kind of would like to see an Aquaman movie. I know there's a lot of, people who watch Family Guy like to copy off of Seth MacFarlane's jokes, but, I find that would be an interesting, Ares, and I think that would be a way more fascinating movie than a Flash movie or really even a Woman movie, in my opinion. Yes, other than Wonder Woman, getting to see all the Amazon chicks, I can't really sink my teeth into that movie.
Okay. Flash, Flash has such a rich history, and plus it involves the key time travel. I mean, there's so many different things you can do with Flash. I mean, it's endless, and so I'm really super excited for that. Aquaman, I'm psyched too because I mean, not a lot of people know about Aquaman and what he can do. Yes, they make fun of him constantly, but they're trying to make him more of a badass. And then with Wonder Woman, I mean, Wonder Woman is like half god and half Amazonian, so she is in the Greek mythology world. So there's Zeus, there's Hades, all of those people exist in that world. So there's so much you can do even with Wonder Woman. I mean, you can do like a 300-esque type movie if they wanted to do that. I mean, it'd be awesome. So I mean, they're sitting on a gold mine here, and they're just taking their time setting this all up. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, to speak about the trailer itself, though, did you like the new trailer that came out like a week or two ago?
Yeah, I liked it. I just I wish I wish we would have gotten to see. I get it's called Batman versus Superman, but in the original trailer, we got to see a little bit of Batman. We got to see enough of Superman. We got the idea of the plot. I just wanted to see, what Aquaman. Maybe they haven't gotten to that point. Well, I'm sure they've gotten to that point, but I wanted to see what Aquaman was going to look like, or, Flash or Wonder Woman. I wanted to see, like, those are the people I was more curious in seeing, and I feel like they're kind of. I mean, it was pretty badass at the end when you get Superman ripping off the roof of the Batmobile, and then they both stand up across from each other. That's pretty badass. Like at that point, I was like, all right, this is going to be okay. I'm officially in, but I wanted to see those other things too. I didn't get to see those.
What people really, really liked, and from what I gathered, and I myself included, is that everyone that complained about Man of Steel having all that destruction towards the end, like, everyone dying, like, this movie kind of deals with exactly that. Like, it's Bruce Wayne's responding directly to that and kind of holding Superman responsible, which is a believable tension that makes sense, while they're also dealing with the whole Robin subplot with the Joker. And I think they're going to use the storyline where the Joker ends up killing Robin, and that Robin ends up becoming Red Hood. And if you read the comic books, it's a really cool story. But this movie is essentially, I guess, from what I understand, this Batman solo movie that they're going to do after this Batman v Superman movie, which has already been announced a couple days ago. I think that's the storyline that they're going to use, or like killing Joker, something like that. They'll probably intertwine that. But I mean, I'm just super excited because I'm a DC fan, and I love Marvel too. But I mean, it's just that I'm kind of excited for them to finally get something off the ground that looks really good.
Explain something to me, okay? Robin. Okay, so on DC Universe or Injustice Among Us, uh, the video game,
Mm-hmm.
Gods versus what I can't remember what it's called. I
It's
have the game,
Injustice,
but
yeah. Gods Among Us, yep.
Gods Among Us. Okay, so Nightwing is an offshoot of like a grown up version of Robin. What's
Okay.
so then so there's Red Hood, there's Nightwing. How many different things of Robin are there? Because I
Okay.
know there's like 18 different Robins.
Well, I think there's like four or three or four that you should know for sure. The first one is Dick Grayson. That's the first Robin. And then that Robin ends up becoming Nightwing.
Okay.
And then the second one is Jason Todd. And then the third one is Tim Drake. And then the fourth one, if you count the girl from that Dark Knight Returns, I always forget her name. But those are like the three that you should really, really know. The ones that everyone knows is Dick Grayson, obviously. But again, yeah, that's Nightwing. And I think he's in Russia. I think he's in Russia in the comic books, guarding Moscow, I believe.
What's the name of Joseph Gordon-Levitt in Batman or Dark Knight Rises?
Oh gosh, I thought he was. Oh, what was his name? Curious.
Yeah, because he was that was really a version of Robin, wasn't it? Or was it?
Yeah,
Was that
it was a version of Robin, but he wasn't Dick Grayson or anything. His name was Blake. His name was Blake.
Was it
Yeah.
John Blake? Or no, it wasn't John Blake. John Blake killed, or that was Robert Blake who killed his wife. But allegedly, excuse me, let me put that out there. Allegedly. Yeah, I felt like
Batman?
no, I'm talking about Robert Blake, the actor.
Oh, sorry. Never mind.
All right, let me see here. Yeah, Blake. Yeah, I can't remember his full name, but yeah, that I feel like there's a lot of confusion as far as I go with Robin in the comic book world. It's just like, oh yeah, that guy was Robin. Oh yeah, that guy was Robin.
Oh,
It's
you
like,
know what? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, that's all I had. There was nothing interesting. Go ahead.
The comic book has so many different iterations, so I mean it is hard to keep up, and I know that can be frustrating, but it makes it a lot easier when it's just the movie kind of explaining it for you. But I mean, just to kind of sum up what I feel about the trailer, I think that eventually, I mean, I think what they showed was good, the gist of it, but I think eventually, as time goes on, we'll get trailers showcasing, Aquaman or the Flash, or maybe even Doomsday, in these in the further trailers. So I mean, that's what I'm kind of excited for. I mean, because we still have until March, so we have a way to go.
Yeah, it's depressing because this was supposed to be the summer that was supposed to come out, and they delayed it a year. Which, yeah, why rush it, and why compete with Avengers this summer? But
they moved it twice? Yeah, I remember.
And yeah, with Ben Affleck, I know we talked about this. It's an older Batman. I know originally you were all in with Ben Affleck. I was on the fence. I've seen the last two trailers. I'm all in now. Have you changed at all?
No, I do. I think that I may have said this before. I just think that he really understands what Batman actually is. And I think he's at a good point in his career where he kind of understands how he can come across. I mean, he's just kind of really grown into his own, especially, he's always been a Batman fan. So, I mean, it's not surprising that we'll probably get a really cool Batman. That I'm not afraid of anymore. I don't think I ever was, but I think I was initially because I just, in my mind, I'm like, how is that going to work? And then when I see him, the more and more I think about it, the better it is. So,
anyway. Did you do you think Ben Affleck's Batman will cheat on his wife with a hot nanny? Allegedly.
I don't know what caused that divorce. Are you
There
talking
was
about?
he hired. I'll tell you what caused the divorce is he hired a hot nanny. What is he doing?
Are you serious?
It- yeah, he hired a hot nanny, and they got together a few times apparently, and now she's in love with him. That's what caused that divorce.
Where did you read this?
Facebook.
It's gotta be.
But no, I saw like an actual story on like National Enquirer. I know it's National Enquirer, but that's where there's smoke, there's fire. And okay, marriage 101 people, never hire a hot nanny. You got to hire a nanny that's like 65 and missing teeth. You cannot be hiring a nanny that's
So just hire Mrs. Doubtfire.
hire Mrs. Doubt. Yeah, hire Caitlyn Jenner.
There you
Where
go.
you would not want to have any consideration of sex. I mean, there should, if I had to hire a nanny, there would be you'd have to be like 200 pounds just to get in the door. I'm sorry, you can't.
Very.
I mean, if I was married and having to hire a nanny, yeah, if you're not 200, you're not getting in the door. Sorry, babe.
That's very exact. You must have thought about this for a while.
I've actually thought about this a lot. It just bothers like I mean, if you want to play with fire, hire a hot nanny. If you're a married guy, just I'm telling you, fellas, you got to hire an ugly nanny. It does never works out well if you hire a hot one.
Ah, word to the wise that can afford a nanny.
Yeah, I'll never be able to afford one, so I'll never have to worry about that. So, okay, Nick.
Yeah.
Last thing, really quick. Star Wars trailer. Like, dislike. Where are you on Star Wars?
I love, and I can't wait to see what else they're coming. I want to see another trailer. I want more footage. You know what I mean? December. I mean, it's coming up. I want to see more.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like it was it was a lot of lay of the land, and we got to see Harrison Ford, yippee. But I kind of wanted to see Carrie Fisher. We didn't get to see that. Not that that would be anything good, but yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted to see the old cast, how they looked, other than we know Chewbacca looks the same.
Did you see that teaser trailer for the other one? I think it was just called Star Wars Rogue.
Ah,
Yeah, it's just like a quick, like 30-second tease where they kind of show the Death Star. So the whole movie is basically it's a prequel where they try to go find the plans to end up blowing up the Death Star. That's the whole movie's about.
all right. And I did like seeing the Death Star in the like kind of like buried in the rubble, so to speak, or in the desert. I like that. I mean, it did have kind of a Star Trek-y feel to it, like the J.J. Abrams original Star Trek. You know, the I guess preview had that feel to it, but
Oh, the scale to it? Yeah, I mean, definitely. I totally agree. And just I just want to make sure I get this in because they recently announced a Han Solo movie. So they'd have it'd be basically be following a young Han Solo.
probably played by Shia LaBeouf.
I was thinking Chris Pratt, but I mean
He's Chris Pratt, who he's playing the next Indiana Jones. Is that correct?
that's just rumor. It was all over the internet to the point where he had to go on Twitter and be like, I've heard this stuff too. I haven't been contacted by the studios at all, so I don't know anything.
Well, all right, Nick. Before I let you go, do you want to tell everybody where we can find you? Twitter, the internets, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I'm at Pop Culture Crunch without the H on Twitter. I'm at popculturecrunch.com. And I think, you can easily find me on Facebook if you were to do a quick search for Pop Culture Crunch. So, yeah, thanks for giving me the plug time.
Yeah, absolutely, no problem. I appreciate you coming on. Love having you. And we'll be right back here on Bob Sullivan Show here on LateNightSportsRadio.com.
Thanks for having me on.